Hey everybody. Um, I was having a conversation with God and about my current situation, and I've been reading about King Saul and how he came to be king and God chose him. But later God rejected him and he raised up David. But even in that process, Saul wanted to kill David. And David just wanted to do what God wanted to do. Saul was rejected because although he was chosen, he wanted to do it his way. And I came to a point in the story where David was literally running for his life. He didn't know who to believe, who to trust. And I can only imagine how he felt because he still had to do it God's way. Even when he had a chance to do harm to Saul, he didn't. And Saul still wanted to kill him. I just really feel it heavy that we're in a season where God is promoting and demoting. He's moving people out of the way that's not doing it God's way, that want to do it their way, and they're putting God on a back burner. And he's raising up people that actually have a heart for God and is going to be unapologetic about the things of God and wants to do it God's way and not their own. And I was even struggling with this because it's like, God, you chose David. But Saul was still in his position, and David had to do it God's way. So the tears and all that, and even I can give my testimony. Like, I've been crying since yesterday. Like, I've literally been crying for about a day. Nobody really knows my day-to-day struggles or anything, but I've just been crying, and I was like, God, I don't even know what I'm crying about. I just know there's things that you're telling me to do, and it seems like there's a brick wall there, and I don't know what it is. And I'm a crier. Whether I think of the goodness of God, I have tears in my eyes. Whether it's sorrow and pain, I have tears coming out of my eyes. I cry. But sometimes I don't even know why I'm crying. But I'm on here today because God is like, you have to open up. You have to do what I've told you to do that you've been running from doing. And getting outside of yourself. And David was running, but he never ran from God. When you jump to Psalms, because I was like, God, I don't even know what these tears. And I asked God, I was like, what am I even crying about? And he said, I interpret your tears. You don't need to know what you're crying about. Just know I'm doing something. And I looked it up, and I was brought to Psalms, and it says, you keep track of my sorrow. You have collected all my tears in your bottle, and you've recorded each of them in your book. And that was so profound to me because every tear that I shed, God interprets. Whether it's tears of joy, whether it's tears of pain, whether it's my soul releasing things that I didn't even know was there. But as these seasons come and people begin to walk into the open doors and walk into the things that God has called them to do, God just wants you to open your heart. Take all your problems to Him, even if people are mistreating you, even if people are slandering you, making up stories about you, lying on you, whatever perception that they have to create to make themselves look good, let it be and let God handle it. Let Him be your defender. Let Him be your protector. But don't be afraid to do what God has called you to do. And that's something that I've been battling myself. Don't be afraid to do what God has called you to do. Jesus understands. And He's always my example. So if Jesus prayed to God and said, take this cup from me, but not my will, let your will be done. And he prayed so hard that he began to sweat blood. He understands the pressure that you're under. He understands how scared you are. But I know that God will send angels to lift you up and strengthen you. Because we can do all things through Christ that strengthens us. And if God did it and he can go to the cross, surely we can walk into our call and do what God has told us to do. Because time is running short. There's not time to play games. There's not time to play church. Time is running short. I don't care who's fighting against you. I don't care if you have to do it with tears in your eyes every time you do it. Just do it. I don't care what it looks like. Because if God be for you, who can be against you? And I'm really to the point where it's like, fear no one but God. Be obedient to the things of God. I don't care how small or how big. Do what God has told you to do. And enjoy the journey on the way. You can honestly look back and say, I don't respond to things like I used to. I'm not who I used to be. Even if it's one step at a time, if you take one step, God will take the rest. But it's time to move in faith and not fear. If you need to cry it out, cry it out. Some of us just need a good cry. That's healing within itself. Settle your issues with your past. Let it go, move forward. Forgive who you need to forgive. Let it go and move forward. God is doing great things. He's doing a new thing. But we're to the point where we got to get over ourselves and just do what God has called us to do. And as I say this to you, I say it to myself as well. That's it. Be blessed.